Hi guys, this video is going to show you how to use your phone if you don't have a digital SLR camera, if you don't have a mirrorless camera that has the features that are required for the class, if you can't borrow one from a friend, and if we can't for some reason loan you one from Northlake. So this is going to be a good solution if you want to be able to participate with the same file type and get a sense of what it's like to use manual exposure mode. So this is using the Adobe Lightroom app. So I'm using it here on my iPhone, and it should look for the most part similar to what you should see on other phones as well. So here we go. Once you've downloaded the app, you'll open the app and you'll want to click on the little camera icon. And so this is assuming that you're going to be using this camera phone as your camera. All right, so here we go. So we hit the camera button. And then what you'll see on your screen, you're going to have to make some changes. You want to make sure that the Pro is selected. So when the little option box opens up, you'll see Professional highlighted. Make sure Pro is set because that's going to give you the options that will simulate manual exposure mode. Okay, and I say simulate, it's just going to give you more options rather than auto, and it gives you a chance to see what shutter speed and aperture and ISO can do in your image, so it really is a good teaching tool. So choose Pro. Up at the top, you'll notice it says DNG on mine. Now yours may not say DNG, but you want to make sure it does before you take a photo. So if it doesn't say DNG, touch where it says DNG, and it will allow you to switch it from JPEG to a RAW file format. So that means that you will actually be photographing with your cell phone using a RAW file format, which is really cool. So that's a great feature of the app. So that's going to allow me to really look at the steps that you went through. That's going to allow me to see details, and if you want to take it further on into Photoshop later, if you want to put it into Camera Raw, it's going to give you a little bit more editing options later on. So a RAW file is really great. It gives you a lot of really wonderful information when you take the photo. So DNG, that's going to be what you select there, and then you're going to get into the screen that shows you, you're looking at all these options on your screen. And the exposure, that's going to give you a slider, and in fact they all give you sliders as you click through these options down here. So seconds, that's going to be your shutter speed adjustments. So if you are wanting to blur something or freeze something, the faster the shutter speed, the more you can freeze the motion, the slower, the more you can blur it. But you're also going to have to respond to exposure and shutter speed and ISO relating to the amount of light you have in the space. And you're going to see how those work. I recommend you guys watch one of my longer videos on how they all tie together. I think that's really going to make a little bit more sense. Where it says auto right here, you can click on that right there, or touch that right there, and that's going to give you a manual focus adjustment, which is still a slider, but that gives you something that you can play with and you can adjust manually, which is pretty cool. So I wanted to share those with you. So after you take the photo, then the next image that you're going to see in this video, it's going to show you from the perspective of once you're ready to edit. This next image here shows the actual editing phase in the app. So all of the options that you have to edit with in the full version show up in the mobile version. It's not as fine-tuned because obviously you're doing it with your finger rather than a mouse or some other tools, so just be careful. Little movements actually do a lot. So you'll go through the same settings and the same goals like you would if you were watching my video on editing. So keep that in mind, and these major adjustments are located under light, okay? And you're going to have a lot more as you scroll back and forth through here, okay? Now when you're done editing, when you feel like you've got it to the way it looks and everything looks great, make sure you click on or touch this little upload symbol right there at the top, okay? One of the first things you want to do, that's probably one of the most important things, is make sure you select first the export as. You want to make sure you set the file type correctly. You want to export it as a DNG, and please don't forget to check up in the top right corner. I forgot the first couple times and couldn't figure out why it was always a JPEG when I set it as DNG, so this locks it in place, so make sure you do that. And then what you'll do is you'll click on or touch the share to Okay, so share to, you're going to figure out what to do with the file. And then this is where you have an option whether you want to airdrop it back to your computer to upload on eCampus, or maybe you want to email it to yourself for some other reason. So just keep those in mind. Hopefully that will help you guys as you're navigating the app.